What's good, y'all? So earlier today, I was having a conversation with myself. I was having one of those monologues where I was just letting the thoughts from the ethers just flow through me, and I was just talking and talking and talking. And it had to have been like a solid hour and a half, 2 hours of me just going. You know what I'm saying? Now, even though I touched on a bazillion different topics, one of the things that I did want to bring to y'all was my thoughts on men crying. Now, I've had both polarities of energies while trying to record my thoughts on this. I've had my big brother energy that some of you know me for my rants that really just try to light the fire under your asses. And then I've had the more, sympathetic, the more like I understand where you at. But nevertheless, regardless of either polarity I was speaking from, there's a common denominator between both of them, which is at some point, you have to make the changes. At some point, you have to call a timeout. You have to call for the subs on the basketball court, the football team. Some of you have to, take accountability for whatever it is that's got you crying like a little bitch. I mean, hey, sometimes it was your fault. On the other side of the spectrum, you had nothing to do with this. So why are you beating yourself up? Why are you crying for the bullshit that someone else did? You see what I'm saying? Nevertheless, no matter what situation it is, you should, as a man, you are allowed to cry. We have been taught in society that men can't cry. If you cry, you a bitch. And don't get me wrong, as I've already started this video off with, there is certain applications where that is true. If you're crying over small stuff, if you're crying because someone got a position over you, if you're crying because no girl likes you, if you're crying because you made one mistake, suck it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do have to learn from your mistakes. However, on the other side of the spectrum, there's a part of me that likes the fact that you're taking yourself so seriously. But some of you need to also realize that some of you are beating yourselves up way too much. Especially you young people out there. Now, this is a lesson I have to remind myself of because I tend to compare myself to 50 and 60-year-olds. People that have decades and decades and decades more time and experience than I do and the goals that I'm trying to achieve in my current state. So I'd be like, how do I get that? How do I do that? Man, how do I do that now? How do I get there 30 years of experience right now? Sometimes I figure out certain small little pieces that edge me forward towards that level of success. And sometimes I just have to sit back, kid. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I tell myself, the old man in me has to talk to the young man in me. Sit back, kid. Just shut up and learn. And trust me, you'll get there. I found myself crying a few days ago. Right? I was indeed crying. But not for what you would think. I was crying because of how amazing my life has become already. And I'm not even nowhere near my final form. For those of you who watch Dragon Ball Z, I still feel like Cell, the first Cell when he still had the tail and the weird little cone mouth thing. Nevertheless, it's I still feel like ugly Frieza, first form Frieza. I feel like that, but nevertheless, first form Frieza versus Krillin. That's still mad powerful. But the thing is, we desire more in our lives and we want everything, but sometimes we forget to be patient. Sometimes we realize that you have to get your ass beat sometimes in order to learn a life lesson. When it comes to you young men that are out there beating yourselves up, you have to realize something. That's a good thing. In balance, of course. It's a good thing that you're beating yourself up because life is going to beat you up already. So if you add a little bit more pain, if you add a little bit more flame to the fire, then regular life becomes easier because not only is life beating your ass, but you're beating your own ass. However, some of y'all take it too far. Some of you don't stop to smell the roses. I like the fact that you take yourself seriously. I'm glad that you have goals and aspirations. I'm glad that you get frustrated that you're not where you're at in life. But sometimes you have to realize you're not where you're at in life. You are where you are in life. You just have to sometimes you just have to let things be. You know what I'm saying? Some of you can't fathom planning out, a year out, 2 years out. Some of you cannot fathom having a 10-year plan. And of course, in different polarities and wherever mood I'm in, I can argue both sides, pro and against. But nevertheless, it's some of you have to just slow your roll and realize that it's okay to cry. But I'm just saying, how about y'all change the topics? Change the emotional states that cause you to cry. Like I said, I cried because my life is beautiful. I measured who I am now to who I once was. And as I was like, yo, I used to hate myself. I've been very vocal about this on my channel. It's like, yo, I used to hate myself. I used to compare myself to young people. I couldn't see through the facade. So I was comparing myself to these rappers. I was comparing myself to these famous people. I was comparing myself to these people that were fake rich on the internet. I was doing all that. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, it was like that little part where it's like, you know, toxicity makes a good guy into a toxic individual. Now, I didn't go out there and spread that toxicity to females. I spread that toxicity 100% to myself. I became toxic to myself. I was once at the point where I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I asked myself the question I feel some of us have run face to face with. What's the point of being the good guy in the dating world if the good guys always finish last? You know what I'm saying? I was at that point. But now I'm at the point now where I'm like, nah, sweetheart, you can handle that toxic shit. You ain't gonna get none of that from me. But you're just boring. We don't argue enough. He's not putting me enough on an emotional roller coaster. You damn right. I ain't got no time for drama in my world. Fuck out of here. I'm a nice guy. I'm very respectful. You know, I am always going to make sure that I'm doing things right for you. I'm always going to ask you questions because guess what? Crazy concept. Good guys tend to, I don't know, want to know about the people that they're interacting with, whether it's a young lady or a man that's trying to enter your network. I'm trying to, I don't know, actually sit down and get to know you. See where we fit in one another's lives, right? Back to the other side of the spectrum where I gotta smack you upside the head. Oh, the girl don't like me. Oh, I placed a bad bet and I lost all my money. Oh, I really knew that I was right, but you know, it just didn't work out and I'm just beating myself in the fucking head. If you don't calm your happy ass down, you do realize your failures sometimes are way more than some people's highest achievement. You see what I'm saying? Like in my free time, you know, like just speaking throughout my entire history thus far, I'd be trying to speak to higher level entities. Hey yo, Thoth, what's good, bro? Hey yo, Ra, how you doing? You know, it's like when I'm watching like YouTube shorts and stuff, like I'm watching like these billionaire investors. I'm like, okay, how do you move? How do you carry yourself? Let me just copy and paste your energy. That's what I'm studying. And even if I attempt to do something that they do and it blows up in my face, my failure was higher than some people's greatest achievement. So the fact that you went out there, tried something and failed, some people didn't even bother trying. And you're sitting here going into depression over something that someone didn't even try to do. Think about that for a second. Like really just sit back with yourself and really sit here and just be like, yo, what the fuck am I crying over? You know, I have a very simple flow chart. Can you control this circumstance? Yes or no? Can you control this circumstance? Yes? Then don't worry about it because you can control it. You just twist some dials. You drag the little slider. You make the changes. You make the substitutions. You do whatever you gotta do in your world to see the changes that you want. You can control it. What you worrying about then? I want to lift my hoodie sleeve up. Oh, look at that. I don't have to worry about that because I know I can always lift it. Why would I worry? Oh my God, my sleeve isn't gonna lift. Can you control it? Boom. Oh, you can't control it. Going back to the flow chart. Situation happens. Can you control it? No. Then what are you worrying about? It's out of your control. Let me show y'all where I'm working, okay? See right there's birds going. There's a boat in the water. What would I look like if I was sitting here stressing out if the boat was gonna float in the water? Do I have any control over that boat? Do I have any control over the birds flying around? No, but some of y'all take responsibility for shit that has nothing to do with you. And the things that you do, you should be taking responsibility for, you don't. The way I see it, you always have control. You know, it's like I'm kind of like, there's very few times where I feel like things are out of my control because I know where my life is moving. Therefore, I'm always in control with the power of law of attraction, manifestation, you know, positive energy, positive vibes, controlling the anions, whatever. But the atoms that are going on circulating me, like attracts like. With my energy, I know success is coming right around the corner because I piss greatness. That's the energy I'm on 24/7, so everything's always in my control. but I also have the ability to adapt, and that's where some of you lose it. You have this plan, you had everything slated out from A to Z. Everything, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do that. But this didn't happen because you don't have the ability to adapt. Plan everything or plan nothing. You know, I'm a very extreme individual, so I tend to move from the extremes, and unless it has something to do with my mental state, where I'm always balanced. But for me, I'm a pick a hill and die on it type of person. You know, when I put my mind to something, there is no stopping me. You can't touch me. You know what I'm saying? You have to get out of my way, get on my bandwagon, or get off, or you're gonna get ran the fuck over. That's just how I am. I'm gonna hurt your feelings because you're not where I'm at right now. You know, I got goals and dreams and aspirations. Sometimes things don't go right in my life. Sometimes they do. I just see things for as they are. It just is, you know? Now let's go to the further example. Okay, now y'all got plans. I talk to you successful people out there. Now let's actually talk to some of you punk ass bitches out there. Some of you are crying because you're watching things on the internet. You're sitting here crying because, oh, I'm visiting. I'll never measure up to that. Go touch the fucking grass. Yes, men should have the mental capacity to know when they are at their rock bottom, when they are at their breaking point. Okay, well, damn, I've seen stained glass, broken glass paintings before, or like, you know, art pieces. It's just literally shattered glass put in a specific order to create art. You are that broken individual right now. So pick up the fucking pieces and stop crying. Crying ain't gonna do nothing except for water the fucking soil beneath your face. Why is it that a freaking little sapling can grow from your tears, but you can't grow yourself? You in your most depressed state over crying, freaking filling up your fucking fishbowl for Bubbles the goldfish with your tears, where you got like a saltwater goldfish. I don't even know if a goldfish or saltwater or not, but nevertheless, your tears are making a home for Bubbles the goldfish. You're growing plants from your fucking tears, but you still looking around, looking at yourself and be like, I'm a piece of shit. I'm never gonna make it in life. What the fuck's wrong with you? You do realize that you're making the decision every single day to be a depressed sad sack, right? Just as easily as you're making the decision to sit here and cry and gain weight and eating your frozen yogurt like you're a 14-year-old girl that just went through a breakup or some shit, you could be over here making the decision to take your ass to the gym. You can be making the decision to read a self-help book. You can be making the decision to go into your spiritual route. You can make the decision to completely scrap your original way of thinking and start the fuck over. You can make that decision to start over. I've done that multiple times where I have scrapped everything I once believed and I just ran with it. And I said, okay, let's relearn what suits me now, what serves me. Does sitting here crying in the dark playing video games to distract myself from my problems help me? No. So maybe I should stop playing video games so much and actually go outside and do the things that make me feel good in a healthy way. You know, like, I don't know, eating healthy food, foods full of life force energy, foods that are not artificial, foods that do not have additives and preservatives that literally bombard your body, that you are literally wreaking havoc. You are literally like calling for war in your body every time you eat the bullshit out there. You know what I'm saying? Go do research on how these foods, your Monster energy drinks, your Skittles, your chips, your fried foods, go look at how that affects your mood. Can you control it, or do you not have control of it? Well, when you live in a state of ignorance, you find yourself in a state of not being able to control anything. You feel like you're out of control in your world. You're having those dreams where you're punching at something and you're always in slow motion. You're having those dreams where you're falling off of a building all the time, because what does that symbolize? You can't handle the issues. You are out of control. How much control do you have when your body's in free fall? How much control over a fight do you have when you can never land a punch on your enemy? That's your subconscious mind talking to you. You see what I'm saying? If you're having nightmares, you are in a poor mental state. I haven't had a nightmare in months, almost damn near a year at this point, because I've considerably changed the way my mind works. My mind does not get latched on to negative things, and when it does, I deal with my emotions. I feel fully whatever is making me feel, whether that does bring me to tears, whether that makes me want to punch a fucking pillow, whether that makes me want to go stand outside in the cold until it hurts. Do what you got to do, as long as it's building you. As long as you're growing from it. Oh man, well, when I'm in my mental state, I go to pornography. When I'm in my mental state, I play video games. When I go to my bad mental states, I eat bad foods that make your mental state worse and allow them to get deeper fangs into your psyche. What sense does that make, Sherlock? You know, one of the things I find hilarious, okay, when I'm scrolling through YouTube, there's way too much Sigma male content. Sigma male content where you are over here admiring another individual. Don't get me wrong, yes, copy and paste the traits in your world, but there are some people that fanboy over these individuals, and then in their own world, you don't practice them. Oh, I love this person. For me personally, I love a good Thomas Shelby, you know, from the Peaky Blinders. Oh my God, dude's a fucking menace. But then I also love dudes like Sherlock, like the newest revamped version of Sherlock Holmes. You know what I'm saying? I love that type of stuff. I love being the hyper-calculated individual, but like what you doing? Like I get, yes, there's certain people that need to build themselves up. There's young men out there that need to build. I once did it too. Go for it. But for my current mental state now, why do you have to label it that? Sigma male. Half the people don't even know what the fuck a Sigma male is. And then there's just a whole bunch of people in the comments say, I'm a Sigma male, I'm a Sigma male, I'm a Sigma male. You do realize you defeated the whole purpose of calling yourself a Sigma male when you called yourself a Sigma male. If you called yourself a Sigma male, if you call yourself an alpha male, if you call yourself any type of male, what is that? You're pretty much implying the opposite. You need a label to give yourself some type of self-worth. Let me give y'all, I know I'm ranting, I'm going off the deep end, but let me try to bring it back ever so slightly. I had a video way back when, I forgot what I titled it, but something along the lines of I chose to be magical or something like that, right? Where us men, we want to be buff, we want to be rich, we want to be, you know, we want the women hanging off of our arms, we want all these things that you think is that all those things that you think masculinity is, that's what you want, so that's what you put all your energy to. That's fine. If you put me in a lineup of 1,000 different people, I'm sure there'd be only 3 or 4 of us that said something a little bit different besides big muscles, big wallets, big cars, big house, big titties on my woman. You know, some of us chose words like that. I am magical, because we all know the power of I am. I am followed by whatever it is what you will begin to manifest in your world. So you say, I am sad, I am depressed, I am a loser, I am fat, I am never going to be wanted, I'm always going to be single, what are you bringing into your world? You turned a thought form into words instantly. That's what you literally just created from your mind. What, you think those words don't mean things? You just think there's such things as empty words? In the metaphysical science, there's no such thing as an empty world. In social sciences, yes, but in the metaphysical world, all of the things that you send out into the world will be reflected back onto you. So you better watch what you're saying about yourself. So when I said I am magical, my life began to shift at that point. You know, my whole energy started to shift when I chose to become magical, when I chose power, when I chose mental discipline, when I chose, you know, self-discipline. You know, self-discipline, self-leadership, all this type of stuff. When I chose that route, that's when my path started to deviate even more from the mainstream. I don't be telling people at work the stuff I'm on. You know, I give people little clues and here and there and whatever, but I don't really tell the people the stuff that I'm really on in my free time, right? So I went to a Friendsgiving. First of all, mad awkward. I still don't like social interactions, especially with work people, because work and work in my private life are two separate things. I don't want to hang out with you any more than I have to. So for me to voluntarily hang out with you with work, you have to assume that I'm there for another purpose, and I was there for research. I was just there to gather intel. That's all I was there for. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, when I was there, I automatically did not catch a vibe, and I was just like, man, I don't even want to hang out with these people. I got to do my hour, so let me just sit here and whatever. So I chopped it up with a few people, but at some point I got tired and I went and sat on the couch and I was like playing with a few of the little kids, just entertaining them watching the movie and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But one of the people that actually did grow a liking to, you know, that we could speak on a mature level with, you know, she was actually leaving the site. So, you know, I thought I'd hang out with her. That's the only reason I went, to say goodbye to her, essentially. So pretty much when we were talking, I forgot how we got here, but at some point she said, Prince, you're the magical one. And that caught me hella off guard, because number one, I'm not used to receiving compliments from people like in that way. But like, I was like, but just one that specific, that particular phrase, as important it is for me to be magical in my own world. Like, I really just sat there, I was like, yo, but you have to think about this, man. And I'm gonna bring this all back and like try to bring this to a close. A man's tears are supposed to be different. We are allowed to cry, but the same way how men and women both act in different ways, our tears are supposed to be different. Women cry over the small things. Women cry because they're emotional. You know, in the weaker man cries when he's emotional, when he's sad, when things aren't going his way. But a man's tears are supposed to be because you know what you're supposed to be on. You know what you're supposed to be going for. You know what I'm saying? But you just didn't make the mark, and that makes you sad. So, fuck, I know I can do it, man. I know I can do this shit, man. And the tears just start rolling. There's nothing wrong with that. That shows that you care. That shows that you have passion for what you're going for. But then on the other side of that, I can't lie. Like, I felt it. Like, I kept it cool because I was in public. But for some woman, well, woman specifically, but for someone to call me magical, of all words that they could choose, and how diligently I've been working with that in my private life, that just goes to show that my internal makeup is shining so bright that people have no choice but to recognize it, whether they're doing it consciously or subconsciously. And that's enough to bring me to tears. So men, like I said, you should only really be crying. I get it. If Bubbles the goldfish died because you killed it in your saltwater tears, okay, feel bad for Bubbles the goldfish. I feel you. All right, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Bubbles. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, I think our tears should be for more positive things. Yes, like I just said, you should shed your tears when you come short from your goals. Man, fuck. I just knew I'd be able to handle that this year, man. Fuck, man. Come on. All right. We felt that. Okay, we allowed ourselves to express ourselves fully. We didn't bottle up any emotions that's going to form itself into a negative thought form that will manifest in our world. We felt it. We're done with it. Now that you let those tears out, how are you going to make changes? What changes are you going to make in your life? How are you going to switch up how you think? What are you going to switch up so you can move forward from this, so you do not end up dwelling on this? You know what I'm saying? On the other end of the spectrum, you should also be crying. You should shed a tear of how amazing you have become in the past month, year, 3 years, 5 years, decade. For those of you older than me, 2 decades ago, man, when I was 20, you know, I could sit upright and I didn't have to grunt every time I sat down. Ugh. Man, I was a dumbass. But now look at me. I have wisdom. I have children. You know, I even have a grandkid on the way. Man, that's something to be proud of. I have a home. I'm debt free. You know, I want for nothing. My children want for nothing. I have a wife. I have wives. You know, blah, 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 blah. There's always something to be grateful for. There's always something to smile about. But if you one of those little pussy ass dudes sitting there crying every day, looking for your reason to cry over something, that's your problem. If you're a man, especially, you call yourself a man, and you sitting on the internet just waiting to cancel somebody, you ain't got nothing else better to be doing with your world, with your life. You know I don't make this content anymore, but we talking to the fellas. If every time you're bored and you go to the spank bank, you ain't got nothing else you could be doing with your time, you can make a decision to go eat a salad at the restaurant, or you can get that dripping 5-patty cheeseburger with buttered buns, 14 layers of mayo, 16 different types of ketchups, cheese, onions, and all this type of bullshit. You can eat that, or you can eat healthy. You can eat something that literally makes your body tired, lethargic, and lazy, and fat over time. Or you can choose to eat a bunch of foods and exercise. Gentlemen, whether you like it or not, the world isn't fair. We cannot go out there crying. So how about you just change what you cry over? You know what I'm saying? Find healthy ways to express yourselves emotionally. You know, once again, I cry because my life is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I call myself magical. I chose the path of being a magician, a mental alchemist. That's my domain. I chose that path, and I did it in silence. And the world recognizes that. Random people that have no spiritual bone in their body, I mean, they just haven't tapped into that part of their psyches, you know, are calling me magical. A chemist, a scientific-minded individual called me magical. Of all words that they can use, and they don't even know me like that. What world can you be creating? I was about to end it there, but let me just throw this last little thought in there. Have you ever looked at something so beautiful that you've been awestruck? Like, when I see women these days, I'm awestruck. But the thing is, if I'm awestruck with that, they better be awestruck when they look at me. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way, that's how seriously I take things. You know, I see the power in women. I see the beauty in women. But some of y'all are still over here beating yourselves up because y'all quite literally lack the power that those women are looking for. You know what I'm saying? Within a couple of weeks, I got called a young king, magical, different, unique. These are things that people outside of me are telling me, but these are things that I tell myself in private. I don't expect people to call this on me. I don't expect people to tell me these things, and then if the outside world isn't telling me it, then no, because I know it. I am the source of everything in my world, and the outpictured world is just an outpicturing of what I'm telling myself. I'm planting my mind. I'm filling my newscaster prompters in my brain with positivity. But that doesn't mean that I don't come up short from time to time. You know, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but I'm just starting to fucking feel it. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Because like I can't lie, I'm getting choked up again because like I feel powerful. And I want men, I want women too. I want everyone to feel this power, but like especially the men I'm talking to in this video, it's like I want y'all to feel this level of power one day. And if you can relate, please share your thoughts with this. You know what I'm saying? If you are a crybaby, share your thoughts. Because we're here to toughen you up. Because I know I want a generation of stronger men. I want the good guys to win. I want the nice guys to win. But if you're a nice guy, just make sure you have a little bit of masculine vibrato about it. Don't be a pushover. Don't be a bitch. All right? No, I just got to throw that little toxic masculinity your way. You do with it as you wish. You know what I'm saying? But don't be afraid to cry, man. Yes, do it in private. That is the one thing I still hold true. I said I was going to end it again, but let me share another story with y'all. Back in the days when I had severe anxiety, I was at my cousin and godbrother's graduation. And I forgot which one it was. I think it was my cousin's graduation. And there was a point where like we were walking with the family, but I had so much trauma from college. I was walking behind my family, but I saw the people. You know, there's so many people, and in my lower vibrational state, I saw all of them looking at my weakness, looking at my insecurities as if I was wearing them and screaming it out. So it just seemed like I was catching eyes with everyone, and everyone was looking at me, and it just built up and built up and built up to the point that I just had to run. I ran. Just imagine me as confident as I am now, and imagine me at a point where I couldn't do this. And I literally ran out into the parking lot because I couldn't dare break down in front of people. But I ran. Imagine how embarrassing it is for a man to just cry in public over some mental cacophony that they came up with in their own mind. What you crying for? This is a conversation I've had with my past self. What are you crying for? These people didn't even see you. They're not even here for you. What are you crying for? Over here hyperventilating. I remember behind one of it was like the concrete pillar with the light post hanging out of it. You know, like, and I'm over here like bent over, hyperventilating, crying to the point my mom had to call me saying, "Yo, where are you?" I'm having a panic attack in the parking lot. Looking back on that, I still feel pathetic about that situation. But the thing is, did I sit here and dwell on it? Did my life stop from that panic attack I had? No. What caused me to have that panic attack? I thought that everyone was looking at my insecurities. I thought everyone could see my insecurities as well as I did in my own mind. These people don't even see me. They don't even see you, dog. So what you worried about? What you crying for? You crying over some shit in your own mind that no one else around you even is aware of about you. Come on, fam. This is how I am. Like, y'all wonder why I say these words, because this is how I talk to myself. I am very, very intense with myself. When I break a fast too early, I beat myself. Yo, what the fuck, man? Come on, man. Show yourself some fucking discipline. Damn, you right. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, man. Man, stop being a bitch. You know that food's disgusting. You know that shit's trash. What you doing going out of your way to eat it? You was sitting here meditating. You was sitting here making a video, and you stopped what you were doing for some fucking junk food, bitch? Damn, bro, you right. And when I talk to any other man, when I talk to young men especially, I be finding myself damn near about to break some of y'all. Y'all be making me feel like I'm a goddamn drill sergeant and shit. You know what I'm saying? Man, you're really harsh with me, like the dude on my job site, because I'm telling him as it is, because I'm being 100% honest. No sugarcoating, just cutthroat. You need to hear it, because no one else is going to tell you. It's that cutthroat shit. It's that shocking shit that makes you really pick yourself up and be like, you know what? I'm done feeling that. I needed to hear that. Let's go. And that's just what I am 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself, but always understand that there is room for improvement, gentlemen. Do not get so wrapped up into the grind that you don't give yourself enough credit for where you currently are in life. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, some of y'all's failures are greater than someone else's greatest achievement. Your failure, your lowest is higher than some people's highest highs. Man, I'm trying to get my million to net $1 million this year. Damn, I fell short. I only made 700 grand. And you're crying about that? Yo, bro, some of y'all watching my videos make way more money than I do. Some of y'all live in bigger houses. Some of y'all got the GTX 1080 or was it 3080 Ti Titanium Pro computers that you just bought with your chump change. And y'all still finding shit to complain about. Meanwhile, me making it like, my comfortable, I'm out there with it because whatever, this is temporary for me. I make 70 grand a year right now. But I'm living life right now. I'm slowly seeing my manifestations come into fruition. I'm sitting on top of a balcony right now above a river, a beautiful scenic landscape. I am looking at the mountains in front of me, and I can watch the stars at the night. I can watch the sunrise. Right now, the moon is perfectly lined up in the center of my balcony. You can probably catch it in the reflection right there. I ain't lying. I got no reason to lie to y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I am happier than some of you. Some of you got that Andrew Tate Bugatti money out there, and you still find something to complain about. Stop complaining. Start really taking note of how blessed you are. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting more. I don't care if you're a billionaire right now. Go make another bill. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with wanting more, but you also need to take some time to yourself and give yourself love. All right, some of you rich people don't realize how hindered you are because you have access. You have unlimited access to everything, even your negative stuff. You know, to the women, the men, if you want. I ain't judging, but, do what you want to do. You have access to sex like that. You have access to these exotic drugs. You have access to these things that people can't get their hands on. But then you put yourself in a bubble where people no longer know what the fuck you're talking about, so you separate yourself. Oh, I'm alone because I'm into these things. Why don't you bring more people into your world? Why don't you bring the right people into your world? You see what I'm saying? Grow your mindset. Because for me, that's something I had to deal with. I get lonely. I still have lonely spells, okay? I still have lonely spells. And to the point where I'm not expecting myself from people, but damn, I wish I could be around somebody that got it. Be around real people on a regular basis, real tangible people that can high-five you if we both came up with a great idea. It's like, where are these people at? And I started to get so frustrated, but then I have to take into account that you've worked on yourself a lot more than most 20-something-year-olds. Most 20-something-year-olds are not at your level of mental maturity. They're not. Some of y'all tell me that all the time. Yo, you just different, bro. I am. And because I am a 1% individual, that means there's only 1% of the world. There's less of us up here. You know what I'm saying? I still got miles, light years to go to get to my final form. But nevertheless, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. I just started feeling it. Okay? To sum it up, take 57 on summing this up. It's okay to cry. It is. Hey, men, young men out there, it's okay to cry. But do it privately. Don't cry too fucking much, though. Don't make a habit out of crying every fucking day. Okay? Have your emotional release because it feels good to cry. It feels good to get that negativity out. It feels good to get all that pent up emotion out. While you're crying, punch a bag, punch a pillow. You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. Let that rage out. As long as you're not harming anybody or yourself, hey, get it out however you get out. Get it out. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to cry. Just don't make a habit out of it. Change up what you're crying about. Don't cry about your failures. Don't cry about the fact that you got ignored by a girl. Don't cry that you got cheated on. She couldn't recognize the greatness in you. Or thank her. Thank you for cheating on me because, yes, I was being a little bit of a bitch. But, sweetheart, when I make it, don't come crawling back to me. Don't say, thank you. I will look after you. I'll always send you a little text saying, you good? You good? All right, cool. But when I make it and you see the life I'm living, don't forget what you did to me. And I'm going to remember that. I'm not going to hold a grudge, but I'm going to remind you, hey, nah, sweet, you didn't see this potential in me yet. But I am thankful for you, so I will always look out for you, but you're not going to get a different place in my world. You are where I say you are in my world. And that goes for everybody and everything. The only people, places, and things around me are what I choose and allow to be there. When you create your masterpiece, it will bring tears to your eyes. My masterpiece is my life, and it brings me to tears all the time. Till the next one, peace.